How you doing today?
Doing great.
I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. Do you want to respond to them?
I will.
All right. First question: what would you rate yourself as a person?
1 to 10.
Yes, sir.
I'll give myself a cool 7.
Why would you give yourself such a rating?
Um, Wait, is this rating like physical or based on like personality?
Personality.
Personality. Um, I don't think a lot of people dislike me, and I wouldn't really consider myself like a bad person morally or ethically. So I give myself like a moderate number, 7.
Now, you gave yourself a rating. What would you think, or what do you think others would rate you out of 10? Strictly out of character and personality.
Um, I, I don't know. Like I guess the same thing, 7. It depends who you're asking.
Why do you think they would give you the same rating?
Um, well, I don't think a lot of people like to be controversial in their opinions, so they're not going to give me a number that's too high or too low, so they might just settle with an even number, like 7.
Very respectable. And do you think that these ratings that people place upon themselves and others cause people like yourself to be less authentic, less who you really are, and more to and like you try to fit in more?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I think like to not hurt other people's feelings or to like, hide like what they really feel, they're going to give a number or a rating that they don't really agree with themselves. So, yeah, I would agree.
All right. One last question, sir. And do you think that this notion that people place ratings upon others, do you think that this is a good or bad thing since it causes others to be less authentic, like you just said?
Hmm, it's probably like I would say it's a bad thing because yeah, people aren't really authentic with their ratings, so there's really no point. If you're gonna get a sample, it should probably be like truthful. So maybe we should come up with a different question if we really want to know what people think.
Great answers. Sir, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Would you like to respond to them?
Yes,
All right, first question. What would you rate yourself as a person out of 10?
like an 8.
Why would you give yourself this rating?
Because I feel like okay, see, I can't do because I do mess up a lot, but when I do mess up, I always feel conscious of it, and it sticks with me. So
It's respectable, sir. And now, what do you think others would rate you out of 10 as a person?
I think others don't know me as well as I know myself. So I think they would rate me a little lower, like around like a 6. Not my good friends though, just like random people. I think my good friends would rate me pretty high.
So you think randoms would rate you less than what you think you really are because they don't know you as well?
Yeah, I think they just see the superficial version of me.
All right, very respectable. All right, do you think that these ratings that people place upon people like yourself cause you to be less authentic, like less who you really are as a person?
I think sometimes it does mess with you and like changes how you might act around people because you're always like thinking about that, like, oh, what do they think about me? Let me try to act a certain way, and it might ruin it. Like I think you shouldn't, but it does. It definitely does. As a human, everybody does that.
So do you think this is a bad thing overall?
Yeah, maybe, but even if it is a bad thing, there's nothing you can really do about it. That's how humans are. That's the difference between humans and animals. We think like first impressions always matter. People always think before they do. People think of other people differently. You can't change that.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Testing, testing. What would you rate yourself as a person?
Um, like 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'd probably rate myself a 6 because I know I can do better, but I think I've done some like good things in life that makes me a pretty good person.
What do you think other people would rate you?
Probably like a 7. I feel like I know like not everybody like knows what I've done before, so I don't know, probably like a 7.
Do you think that these ratings people place upon themselves and others cause people to be less authentic?
I don't think it causes someone to be less authentic, but I feel like it can change how you like see someone.
Do you think that other people like mold themselves to these ratings to try and make other people like rate them higher numbers? Like go away from their authentic selves?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And do you think that this is a good or a bad thing?
I think it's a pretty bad thing because you don't get like the person's true self.
There's some good answers.
What would you rate yourself as a person, out of character?
Like on a scale of 1 to 10,
Yes.
solid 7.
Why would you give yourself this rating?
Because I think I'm like compassionate and I care about stuff. So,
It's very respectable. What do you think other people would rate you? Again, out of character and on a scale of 1 to 10.
people who meet me for the first time, like a solid 8.
Now, why do you think these people would give you a higher rating than you gave yourself?
Because like they don't really know me yet and they just see me at first and I'm always nice at first. So,
Okay. Do you think that these ratings that people place upon themselves and others cause people to be less authentic, less more like who they really are?
yeah, definitely, because I try to like be like what society wants them to be, basically.
And do you think that this is a good or bad thing?
A bad thing.
Why?
Because like you can't really be yourself. Like you have like a mask on.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
What would you rate yourself as a person?
Personally, I'd rate myself a 6 out of 10.
Why do you rate yourself that?
Because I just feel like I don't fit in, you know?
What do you think other people would rate you?
9.5.
Why do you think others would rate you this way?
Because I always have the shoes, and I always have the cool things that everybody wants.
Understandable. Do you think that these ratings people place upon themselves and others cause people to be less authentic?
I feel like it does for me, at least because I want to fit in.
Do you think that this is a good or a bad thing?
This is overall a bad thing, although it could be helpful in circumstances where you could build connections. But overall, it causes you to be faker, less authentic, and a worse person overall.
So a bad thing.
Yes.
Thank you for your time. What would you rate yourself as a person?
Probably like a 6.
Why would you rate yourself that?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I don't get up to expectations and stuff.
What do you think other people would rate you?
Probably like a 7 or something.
Why do you think others would rate you this way?
I don't know, 'cause I try to be nice to other people and help out others.
It's very good. Do you think that these ratings people place upon themselves and others cause people to be less authentic?
Yeah, people just kind of like try to be someone that they're not and like try to be their rating instead of who they really are.
Do you think that this is a good or a bad thing?
Definitely a bad thing.
Thank you for your time. Ew. Oh my days, look at this dude.